So now let's talk about time. Interval schedules is when you reinforce depending on the amount of time that has passed. Doesn't matter how many times the behavior occurred, it only matters about time. And again, this can occur either fixed or variable. So a fixed interval schedule is when the first response that follows some set time interval is reinforced. So this might be ice cream every quarter that you have straight A's. So the time interval is set. It is however long your school does a quarter, a couple months or so. That is a set fixed time interval, but the amount of behaviors that might occur might change. So maybe one quarter is really heavy with a bunch of assignments, or maybe the next quarter only has a couple assignments. It doesn't matter how many times you do the behavior. The only thing that matters is the length of time that has passed. So as soon as a quarter has finished up, you get reinforced. You get behavior the next time. This often occurs too if you think of public transportation, or at least like public transportation that is working well. This is when maybe you've got a bus that you know is going to come every 30 minutes. So this is a set number of time. After 30 minutes has passed, you can expect the next bus. Whereas, in contrast, maybe it's not a set amount of time, maybe it's a variable amount of time that you're going to be reinforced. So examples of this might be getting rewarded with ice cream after every pop quiz. So if you get a pop quiz and you get a good grade on that pop quiz and you get ice cream, this is an example of a set number of time. So it's not like you have to do so many pop quizzes or anything. And because it's a pop quiz, that means that you don't know when it's going to occur. So this is variable in that ambiguity of not knowing when it's going to occur. And it's after a particular time interval, because you're likely not, getting a pop quiz every single day. So it's after some amount of time that it occurs, not a number of behaviors. This also can occur when you're checking your phone to see if you have any text messages. So again, it's not based off a number of texts that you get that you check your phone. Maybe you just check your phone every like 5 minutes or 6 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. But if you're really busy, that might be a longer interval of time. And if you're pretty bored and you're just doing nothing, that might be a short interval of time. So the interval is variable, but it's after a certain amount of time that you tend to check your phone for text messages. Okay, that was a lot. I recognize that's a lot. Here's another chart to help you piece these things together. So again, two concepts, whether the basis of the consequence is after a certain number of behaviors, a number of times it occurs, or the actual physical time interval. And then whether or not the schedule is set, it's fixed, you always know when it's going to happen, or it's changing. You're not quite sure. Sometimes it's some way, sometimes it's another. So these break down into 4 different reinforcement schedules: fixed ratio, fixed interval, variable ratio, and variable interval. So these might show up on types of application questions too, and I will send you more examples to practice these. One other thing before we move on from this topic though. So this is a graph that is showing how often a behavior occurs across time. And the lines in this kind of figure, so these little kind of offshoot lines, represent when the behavior was reinforced. So a couple things that I want you to notice. So when the reinforcers are fixed, so we're looking at fixed ratio and fixed interval, the lines between the reinforcers aren't straight, right? So here it's kind of a flat line, and then it increases really rapidly. Flat line increase. And with interval, it's pretty slow, and then it gets really high right near the reinforcement. Kind of low, really high. Why do you think that is? So reminder again, with something that's fixed, a set number of times, you know that it's going to occur. Let's use the example of like Starbucks, buy 10 drinks, get one free. If you were just reinforced, if you just got your free Starbucks, you're probably going to drink the next ones kind of slowly, right? You're going to have one drink, two drink, up to when you get to like 8 or 9 drinks, you might be more motivated to be like, oh, I only need like one more, right? So then you start to do the behavior really quickly near the end, because when you're just reinforced, you know it's not going to happen for a while. So your behavior is going to slow down. And same with time. When you were just reinforced, you're going to kind of slow down because you know that you're not going to get reinforced again for a while. But as it's been a set number of times, you're going to do the behavior a bunch because you know it's about to happen. However, when the reinforcement schedules are variable, you'll notice the lines are very straight. They don't have that kind of wavy pattern, because reinforcement can occur at literally any time. You can't predict it. So you're maintaining constant performance just in case it happens. Other things you might notice is that the variable ratio schedules tend to lead to the largest increase in behaviors. You'll see this as the steepest line. Why do you think that is? So here, because it's a ratio of schedule, you know that it's up to you. You know it's based off the number of behaviors you do, but you're unclear exactly how many. So you're just going to keep doing that behavior over and over again on your own, free volition in order to get that reinforcement. Whereas the others are kind of constrained by something, either some amount of time, some amount of behaviors, that kind of thing. So kind of a general takeaway, responses that are intermittently, so every once in a while, and irregularly reinforced are more long lasting and resistant to extinction.